So, for my second story, SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, and AFTRA. I'm not sure what that stands for. I'm sorry, Screen Actors Guild. But they recently came into a deal with in-game company with Replica Studios to work on AI. So basically, what they did is they came up with a deal, and it says that if a certain actor comes along and feels that they would like to license their voice, they can license their voice with Replica Studios, and then Replica Studios will take some samples and use their voice, and then that voice can be used for basically whatever they want, like gaming and stuff like that. So it can be used in video games to create content, to create, I believe what they call it, I don't remember what they call it, but pre-content, where they're basically saying, okay, we'll have this voice in, we'll get a real voice actor to fill it in later. But for now, we just need to fill in just a placeholder voice. They can use it for that. They can use it for content in the game. They can use it for interactive content if they want an AI that's generating new things and things like that. And it does have a lot of people worried. So apparently, a lot of people in the Screen Actors Guild were not aware that this deal was being made and now are upset that it has been made because they, again, the SAG said we got relevant people who are relevant to this space and we got their approval and they all agreed. But apparently a lot of SAG people are coming out and saying, I've never heard of this deal. I had no idea this was going on. This is completely against what we were protesting. And now they went off and made a deal. So that is just something to be aware of and to look out for. And yeah, and again, this is like we were saying before with the whole game streaming thing. It's one of those things that is probably actually inevitable. So yeah, we might have to get used to it, but it's here. So that's the news.
Yeah, I saw some games with AI voice. At this time, the voice actors have nothing to fear. Because a game with a real voice actor and a game with a AI voice, completely different. AI voice is terrible this time. I'm sure it's gonna get better, especially if you start to license your voice to have the AI say some lines with your voice. I guess gonna get better, but a bit dangerous for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it depends on the person, right? You guys are like, I always say, big brain people, and you guys really focus on the details. For me, I don't care how somebody sounds in a game. It's just like shoot.
No,
It doesn't.
really AI voice, it really ruin your immersion. Really, I thought I didn't care. I really thought I didn't care, and then I saw a game which was really cool. It was a punching game, like a bit like Punch Out or something like this, and really with AI, it was horrendous. Really, the game was cool, but the voice is really taking you out of the game. Huh? Really.
But see, that's my point. Is you are not the average person. The average person, it doesn't change the matter for them. It's like somebody watching 700 episodes of CSI in a row in a year, right? The average person, no problem. But of course, the big brain people, you guys would get bored after a certain number of episodes. I can watch 750 episodes of CSI, no problem, every single day, 3 times a day, and it wouldn't matter, wouldn't phase me because it doesn't bother me, right? It's but that's what I'm saying is I think the average person is not going to care about AI in games as long as they're having fun, as long as they're shooting or farming or collecting cards or something like that. AI art, AI voices, it's just it's if it works.
And like any technology, it's just going to get better.
Yes.
Yes. And I saw
Yeah.
this story. I didn't did you guys see the George Carlin story?
Where they took like an AI George Carlin and had it making jokes based on the kind of jokes he had made in the past. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're not American, and not like I'm American, but I lived in America, and George Carlin is a super famous comedian. He passed away, I don't know how many years ago, but he had 13 very famous George Carlin specials. Again, you could think about Kevin Hart's comedy specials, equivalent things. And his last special was really dark and terrible. And again, because he was dying and he knew he was dying at that point, right? But again, the 14th one, which is the fake AI one, was done. And again, at the beginning of the special, it says, by the way, this is not the real George Carlin, it was done by AI. But it's the people who listened to it and who watched it, who enjoyed it, were like, oh my God, this is actually just like George Carlin. It sounds amazing. It's funny, very enjoyable. But of course, the people were like, oh my God, this is AI. It's terrible. And of course, his daughter came out and said, I don't agree with this. If you want to support comedians, you got to listen to a real comedian, not remake old comedians. But I think like Anton makes a good point as well when it comes to AI, that it's definitely a divisive technology.